Hi friends, today we will discuss about how we should build a sustainable economy. The article in Times of India is rebuilding a sustainable economy post COVID requires a long term strategy and not just a short term stimulus. So, we all have been saying that there has been a sudden artificial boom in the stock market, and that too not only in India but almost everywhere, especially US and other parts of the world too. Do you think it is sustainable? The gold has risen to an all-time high. In India, it is coming at around 51,000, and at international level, almost going to touch 20,000 ounce. The dollar is still maintaining its hegemony, its arrogance. Though Fed has been printing money like anything, just like anything I can say, but still dollar is the king. Now, the author of this article, Chandrabhushan, he's talking about the Great Depression of 1929 that we all know. So the current situation is no lesser than that. Though we have not seen as of now something like Great Depression of 1929, but but people still fear that it can be worse than that even. So fearing that, everyone is taking extraordinary measures. Fed is printing money, and even Indian government, though its pocket do not allow, is doing to its maximum possible. Even Indian government is doing its maximum possible. They put in the lockdown like US, Canada and other countries, though we are nowhere close to them. Economically, we are, if we are not poor, but we are not at par with these countries who put the lockdown. So that is the reason when the whole world was putting the lockdown, that was the time when we opened the lockdown, because our halat was khasta. Our economy do not allow that. We do not have money to that an extent. Now, there is no denying the fact that everyone knows that we are going to be in trouble. Indian economy is going to be in trouble. Just like the world is going to be trouble, so do the Indian economy. Everyone agrees with that. As per the World Bank, IMF, and research by the international organizations, Indian economy is going to shrink to an extent of 6 to 7% of GDP minus. The last time the Indian economy contracted by more than 5% was in 1979. And we know what happened in 1979. Morarji Desai went, Indira Gandhi came, then there was a birth of BJP in 1980. So there was a lot of turmoil that happened in 1979-80 era when the GDP went down to minus 5%. So this time it's going to be minus 6% or even minus 7%. So what is going to happen, my dear? On Monday, 31st August 2020, the GDP data is going to come, and let us see how it's going to reflect. The current article is not about GDP. It is about making a strategy wherein how India should cope up the current crisis. In the current scenario, Indian government is doing its best. There is no doubt about it. They have opened their purse. They are crossing the mindset of maintaining a prudent fiscal and monetary limits. They are going beyond their limits, though in a calculated way, but they are trying their best. The stimulus package has been rolled out by the government, though I'm not going to the numbers because that is debatable, but there is no denying the fact that Indian government has stretched its seams. And there is no denying the fact that the current circumstances required a management, a strategy to come out of this acute stage. But dear friends, we also understand that giving away money in Manrega is not the solution to the country. We cannot dole out and loot out for money because we are not a rich country like USA जहाँ पर मनी एक तरीके की दान दे देते हैं. We cannot donate money like the way the government is doing in Manrega. So a proper strategy has to be made out wherein we have a sustainable growth. So now that we know all political parties are doing their prudent political management and trying to win the brownie points, but then in the long term we also need to focus on the economy because it is a long term sustainable growth that will win the war. So it is said all is well that ends well. So after a gap of 5 or 10 years, if we are economically better, then only we will call that the government has done its best, and that is when any political party will sustain its future also. So what has the government done for the long term and what it should do more? That's a $1 million question. We saw in the current scenario wherein during the lockdown the economy came to the halt, but it were our farmers, agriculture that maintained its pace. We now all understand that India, though it's coming leader in service sector, but when it comes to agriculture sector, India is still a country wherein agriculture accounts for 50% of the land, 85% of the water, and 50% of the population is still relying on agriculture for its livelihood. The contribution of agriculture is just 2 to 3% of GDP, but when it comes to livelihood, social peace, social equality, and the bread and butter of the country in times like Corona, wherein it is food, the food security that matters a lot, the defense security that matters a lot, that we realize that agriculture is important. So for a sustainable growth, agriculture had to be focused. Government has done a big role by removing the APMC Act, wherein now any organization, any person can buy directly from the farmer, which is called a certain kind of contract farming. Though I'm not talking much about agriculture, we all know how we need to manage our agriculture by building roads, better transportation, removing the middleman, food processing industry, giving better giving better price to the farmer. And minimum support price is not the solution. Let the market forces decide. Sugarcane industry, we have seen sugar mills owned by political bigwigs do not give money to the farmers. A lot of time takes for money to come into the hands of the farmer. So such kind of things should be removed. Better technology, mechanized farming, sort of rural management. Good educated people should go into rural areas and teach how farmers, not only agriculture, but how to educate their child, how to get good health at affordable prices. And all the more, private sector should play a better role, major role in agriculture. Gone are the days of Food Corporation of India, Indian Railways. So on the railway tracks, private wagons, private logistics should work. So there are a lot many things that still need to be done. So for a sustainable growth, we must not only rely on coal. So renewable energy, government is taking a lot of steps. A lot of solar energy is going to come. So that is where we need further. So already we have seen smart grids coming in. Now we have smart electricity meters at home. Battery rickshaws are come. Battery cars are coming, which is a good thing. We must not rely too much on petrol, diesel, crude oil, because that is where we are draining our costly foreign exchange. We must not rely too much on Middle East or even on America for getting or storing our crude oil. Now, what other measures we need to do? So far, the Indian approach has been to build a lot of roads so that farm products can be taken to the urban area by road. But my dear friends, our railways have got ignored for the last 2-3 decades because of so much of coalition parties. All political bigwigs want railways as portfolio. Mamta, Paswan, Lalu. So now is the time to focus on railways. Look at China, where is the railways going, and look at India, where the railways have gone to the dogs. That's fair enough to compare the railways of China and the railways of India. A lot of privatization is required in Indian railway. IRCTC running that railway trains is just a token of it. A lot of privatization is required in Indian railway. Similarly, we cannot follow China. See the kind of manufacturing pace is going on, and look at the Olympics we saw in China. They had to really roll the economy just to avoid the cameras polluting the Chinese cities. So we need not to follow China with regard to pollution. We need to have a lot of forest area, and just not crude forest. We need to have a lot of forest in a modern way. Biodiversity, we are going to have biodiversity parks in Delhi. The Delhi government had decided to increase its forest area from 23% to 25%. A lot of forest area is going to come. We can have an ecologically balanced environment wherein we can have resorts also, where we can have elevated corridors, where we can have uh, biodiversity parks, where we can have water bodies, where we can do water harvesting. We can have elevated roads so that people can just walk into the forest or use battery cycles or battery cars, and they can enjoy the forest. So it is said that if you live along with the nature and go into the nature sometimes, it relieves you of the stress. So that model we need to follow. And we can't ignore the education and health. We have seen that Indian government never invested in health, so that was the reason we had to put the lockdown. So health has to be encouraged. Ask private bodies to make good hospitals, invest in healthcare. Ask them to invest in healthcare. Let lot many private schools come up, and all the more good governance is required. When we say good governance, not only central government, but state and local bodies as well. Look at the scenario in Gurgaon, wherein people invest crores of rupees in good apartments, but when it came to heavy rains in Delhi, they couldn't cope up. The water went into the parking sites of the big apartments, and people having even costly cars like Porsche, Mercedes, or Audis, they were literally drowned. They couldn't even start it. They were fully drowned. So that is what we need to do. So I added lot to the article written by Chandrabhushan, who is a writer in this article, and he is the CEO of the International Forum for Environment, Sustainability and Technology. Thanks to Mr. Chandrabhushan for that.